That's a wonderful word. The first word that Jesus spoken, it resembles the forgiveness. We need to forgive. And now after the religious leaders and the soldiers mocking at Jesus, and now one of the criminals hanging near to Jesus was mocking at him. And he said to Jesus, "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and save us." Do you think is it not possible for Jesus? Yes, Jesus is the son of Messiah. He could have done something to prove him that he is Messiah. But that is not the purpose. The purpose is something else. And now there is another criminal hanging on the other side of Jesus. He had a great heart and he believed. And he said to the other criminal, rebuked him, "What are you speaking? Don't you fear God?" And he looked into Jesus. "Jesus, remember me when you glorify. Remember me when you rise in the kingdom." See what a great heart he has. And he said, "We deserve for what we did, but this man did nothing wrong, but yet he deserves." And he believed he is the Son of God and he is the Messiah, and God has sent him to this earth to pay a penalty on our behalf. And he humbles himself, and with a great attitude of humility, he tells to Jesus, "Lord, please remember me." Jesus, touched and moved by the wonderful faith this criminal, this sinner had, and he was so gracious and he was so generous. And he has said the second word from the cross that is recorded in book of Luke chapter 23 verse 43. He said unto him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." So this shows the forgiveness of Jesus. He's hanging in the cross, but he was touched and moved by the great attitude this sinner had, and with a repentant attitude is asking, "Lord, remember me." But Jesus is so gracious and he's so generous. He said, "I will open the heaven for you." Amen? So if the same attitude what that sinner had, and if you approach God, and he's so gracious, and he will open the heaven for you. And that is a great purpose of God. When you read in book of John chapter 17, Jesus prays to God. When the time has come for the Son to be glorified, he prays to God, "God, glorify your Son." And he prays to the disciples. He doesn't stop there. And he prays for everyone. He prays for you and me. And he said to God, "Just like you are in me and I in you, may all the people who believe in me be with me where I am." That's the purpose. The purpose that God has chosen you and me is to be with him. First, the Son of God has to be glorified. First, the Son of God has to be lifted higher so that he can lift you and me higher. So we can see his glory. That's the great purpose of God. And Jesus prays himself to God that I want to see all those who believe in me. I want to see everyone in the paradise. The word that Jesus spoke on the cross, it is not only for the repentant sinner. It is for everyone. So it's a wish. It's the purpose of God that you and I has to be with him in the heaven along with him. And Jesus also prays, it is recorded in book of Hebrew, there we read, Jesus prayed a fervent prayer with tears and cries. And there we read, and Jesus has become the source of eternal salvation. He was made once perfect for all and made as a source of salvation. So dear church, when we approach God with humility, with a repentant attitude, and for forgiveness, and Jesus is so gracious, and he will open the heaven. If you ask for, "Lord, remember me," he will not only remember you, but he will open the heaven for you. Amen? Let's give a wonderful hand of praise.